What up, though? This is Thomas, and this is another episode of Dollar Store Cinema. I am uh, this week covering Cocaine Godmother. It is a Lifetime original movie, and Griselda Blanco, who was like the drug dealer of her time. The ad was like before Pablo Escobar, before El Chapo, there was her. And like I knew about her because of Pusha T. um, to be honest. And there's a rap group named after her called Griselda coming out of Buffalo. And the only thing I can say I didn't like about this movie was the cuts because you could tell like that's where commercials were going. And I chose this because Netflix just came out with a miniseries uh, with Sofia Vergara playing Griselda Blanco, and it looks really cool. Only thing is, I don't got Netflix, so since I have YouTube Premium, I'm able to watch movies on their platform with no ads, and I was like, ooh, perfect. uh, Catherine Zeta Jones plays Griselda, and it's still mind blowing to me that Catherine Zeta Jones is not Hispanic, like at all. Um, she's not a Latina, and I grew up watching her like in Zorro, and like she's played Spanish people before, but she's actually Welsh, which is mind blowing to me. Um, I do think that's weird though, that she just keeps doing it and she does not care. Um, it's very Scarlett Johansson of her. The whole like, oh, we're actors, we're able to embody whoever, but like even though she is an Academy Award winning actress and she was phenomenal in this role, I feel like it could have been better if they actually had somebody uh, of Latin descent playing Griselda. What I will say though is there was a Mexican director, and the cast was surrounded by Hispanic actors, and they all did great. I think the story arc that surprised me the most was her son Uber. He was like a book smart person, and the movie did a really good job of like comparing and contrasting between the rest of his brothers, um, and then just seeing like how slowly but surely his mental is deteriorating because of the life that he grew up around, eventually becoming a part of the family business. It's heartbreaking, to be honest. And um, yeah, that performance really stood out to me. Um, One thing you get from this movie is the viciousness. Um, I heard in the Netflix series it was sort of lacking on showing how vicious he was. Um, Lifetime did a good job of um, formatting the story, and they did it through a narrator, and the narrator is one of the DEA agents. And I really liked it because it allowed you to get into the story and not necessarily have Griselda narrate it. So it's sort of like a third party omniscient, um, and that allowed for the story to be unencumbered by the stereotype of like, oh, you have narration by the main character. Um, but yeah, they showed the motorcycle killings, the thing she essentially invented. They showed the innovative ways that she was able to traffic so much uh, product, and it was through through undergarments and through using senior citizens in their wheelchairs. Sort of like how Frank Lucas used the dead bodies from Vietnam, the dead soldiers, I mean, um, from Vietnam to traffic cocaine. Um, but yeah, one thing about Blanco was she could switch like that, and like it doesn't matter how close a person was. If somebody did her wrong, or she felt like somebody did her wrong, that's all she needed. And she'd kill him. She even did that to her husband a couple times. She had like three husbands, I think, and I think all of them got murdered by her. Um, and so like she also had a lover named Catalina, and I think Catalina is not necessarily a real person, but more of like a composite of different uh, queer relationships she was in. But throughout the movie, you see like over the 10 plus years, them have this bond, and Catalina basically talks about how she looks at Griselda's sons as like her sons in a way because she's looked after them for years. And Griselda like immediately like they are in each other's arms in like a romantic setting. And then she turns to her, she says, "Yo, you ever refer to yourself as a mother with them, I'll strangle you with these pearls." Catalina was wearing pearls, and it's just like you like, yo. And then as you rest into that intense moment, Griselda flips again. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I was kidding. I'd never hurt you. Look how scared you were," like trying to make it as a joke, and you just know like she is unwell. One thing I didn't know about Griselda was her addiction. I didn't realize that she had got addicted to the product as well, and that was surprising. I was like, I thought about Biggie's 10 Crack Commandments where he says, "No getting high on your own supply," but I guess she was making so much money and everybody was scared of her. Nobody would tell her no. I know I wouldn't. Also, wouldn't want to be anywhere near her, to be honest. But yeah, I think the movie did a very good job of explaining who she was, but more importantly, why she was the way she was. Off rip, like the first scene was her as a kid, and you see this guy um, collecting like his gun and his wallet and his money and all that stuff, and he says, "Hey, tell your mom I'll pay her later." And I was worried at first because Griselda, as a child, was sitting on the bed and she had like a nightgown on, and she had put her strap back up, and I was like, I hope he does not assault this girl. But it turns out he had already raped her and was basically telling her like, "Hey, I'm not paying you for your services. Tell your mom that." And like we get to see an interaction where um, she goes to her mom, and her mom is like, "Hey, you're always supposed to get the money first." And she's like, "You don't these guys don't want to feel like they're having sex with a corpse." And like the Griselda's like, I would rather be dead." And then the mom slaps her and like kicks her out of the house. And after like Griselda catches her first body from the dude that didn't pay her and who raped her, she leaves and like starts a new life in America. It was crazy, and that's how the movie started. um, but yeah, I would check it out. It is for free on YouTube, and if you don't have YouTube Premium, you'll just have to deal with ads. But that movie was great, and yeah, take care.